Welcome to Baby Boomer Tales. My name's Jim. You can find us at babyboomertales.com. Once you've arrived and landed, the Eagle has landed at our webpage. There are links to our Boomers General Store, our Shop Tales at Amazon, our book, Got a Job, places where you can download our podcast, see pictures of this great country in northeast Kansas and north central Colorado Rocky Mountains. How you doing today?
Jim, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Yeah, Jim, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay, Munchies, what do you want to talk about?
We want to talk about the Pilgrims and Captain Crunch. Yeah.
Well, the Pilgrims were some of the first English-speaking people that lived on the North American continent. Is that what you wanted to know?
Are any of them related to the captain?
Captain Crunch is cereal.
I know. That is my great grandpa. Yeah.
Okay. Captain Crunch is your great-great-grandpa?
More greats, Jim.
Okay, I understand that. Why did you say that?
Because Grandpa did not speak English. Yeah.
What did he speak?
He spoke Munchie. Munchie.
Okay, do you guys speak Munchie?
Jim, English is our second language. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've never heard you speak Munchie. Can you say something in Munchie to me?
Yes, Jim. Here goes. Munch.
Okay. Is that why you're called Munchies?
No, that is because we like to eat. Munchie is just our first language. Munch.
Get out of here, guys.
We don't want to be boxless. Don't kick us out because we speak Munchie. Munch.
You're not going to get kicked out. I think you're full of hooey.
Munch.
Whoa, okay. There they go. That's our friends. Get the, got the, and had the munchie. Now for some weird facts. Besides just giving these to you, I think I'll talk about them a little here or there. We'll try to keep the munchies out of here. If they start speaking that language, no one will be able to even understand them. Here we go. Weird facts. Animals that lay eggs don't have belly buttons. Okay, this one really got me. I had to Google it and look it up, and there's only two animals that aren't birds or reptiles, stuff like that lay eggs. Two mammals. They are the platypus and some other one that I'd never heard of. He looks like a cross between a porcupine and a hedgehog. So anyway, did you ever think that your dog had a belly button? If you think about it, it only stands to reason. I guess they're not looking like our belly buttons. I'm going to have to pet a dog and look. They like to lay on their back and sprawl their legs out, let you pet them on the stomach. Fascinating. Sliced bread was invented after the invention of TV. At first, I argued with that because old grandma would slice a slice of bread. But what we're talking about is for commercial purposes, every slice is even and all that stuff. TV was invented before sliced bread. I still say most of these inventions we have today are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Here's one that'll shock you. Maybe you already knew it. The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Ooh, baby. The average American will eat 35,000 cookies in their lifetime. Hey, Munchies, you hear that? 35,000 cookies.
Munch.
The German chocolate cake is named after an American baker named Samuel German. so it wasn't invented in Germany. It's probably like Black Forest ham, I don't know. The average person has 4 to 6 dreams per night. And if you're lucky, you remember one once in a while. 4 to 6 dreams. Here's one that I can really relate with. The human brain is about 60% fat. I ain't fat, I'm smart. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the only word ending in MT is dreamt. The only word. You'd think someone would have made one up and it would become a fad and they'd make it to the dictionary, but that's the only one. And finally, most adults spend more time on the toilet than they do exercising. Our song of the week is This Magic Moment, which was first recorded by the Drifters with Ben E. King. He was singing the lead. It reached number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 1960. In 1968, Jay and the Americans released this great song, and it made it to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. This wonderful song was featured in the movie The Sandlot. You can remember that. Squints pretends he's drowning, so the hot lifeguard girl that was older than him would jump in and rescue him and give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. One of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in cinematic history, and the music just went right along with it. Sweeter than wine, softer than a summer night. Everything I want, I have, whenever I hold you tight. You know, I live out in the country, and I see a lot of wildlife. I really do. From bobcats to deer to coyotes, fox. Saw a mountain lion once. A lot of deer. Never saw an elk here. Never saw a bear here. But we do have our share of all kinds of wildlife. Had a beaver once in my pond. Besides the original fare of possums, bunnies, coons, all that stuff. Well, the other day, I was looking out the window, and my wife came and got me and said, look over by the point. The way our pond sets, where I can see, is to the right, we have a point which section of land goes out into towards the middle of the pond. And then we have the pond that runs along the east side of it and turns to the west, and there's where the dam is and all that. Well, there was a young buck standing there, just as still as could be. You could tell he's fairly young because his rack, his antlers, was not real big. Well, walking up alongside the pond from the south came this other buck, and you could tell he was smaller and his rack was not as big. And he kind of walked up close to that other buck that's standing by the point. And then he kind of turned around and they kind of looked at each other. And I told Kim, I said, these guys are getting ready to rut. They're going to butt heads here. So she tries to get out her phone to record it, right? And she's fooling with it and all that. And they just charge each other and bam-o, hit heads and kind of lock horns and kind of twist their heads like a power struggle and pushing and twisting, and then they kind of broke free, and then they kind of walked down into the point, and I kind of lost view of them from my windows. I couldn't really see them. And so Kim tried to play, and she said, I don't think I got it, and she didn't. She had the wall and part of the window, the half part where you can lay the window down, all that stuff. And so she was kind of mad at herself for not capturing that. And along comes a smaller buck, limping. He is limping. And he was headed to the south, heading out of there. Not very fast, because he definitely did something to himself, or something was done to him. And then about 60 seconds later, here comes the little bit older buck, a little bit larger, like I said, and he just kind of walked up like all majestic and stood there for a long time afterwards. And I thought that was amazing. Well, then he decided to go off to the south, To the south of my pond, you go over a little hill, and down there you can tell deer bed down there because it's always kind of matted down, you know. In this one area, it looks like maybe 10 deer or something lay there all the time. Well, Kim by that time got her act together with her phone, and she took a video of the larger deer walking off all majestic and proud of himself and probably looking for his honeys. You know what I mean? Nature is an amazing thing, and I have never seen a rut like that except, you know, on TV and stuff. I've never seen it in person. All the years I've ever lived out here, all the years I lived in Colorado, out in the country and all that stuff. And it was quite just amazing. I know I used that word about 6-7 times so far here in the last couple of minutes, but it really truly was. So you can see about anything around here, and that's okay with me. As long as I don't see deer eating my flowers or trees, as long as I don't have any beavers cutting down my trees all around here to make some kind of a dam. I don't care if the raccoons go over into the farmer's field and eat his corn. I don't care if the possums waddle around here and do whatever they do. I don't really like the bunnies. They'll eat Kim's flowers just like that. In fact, in the backyard there's this one area she cannot keep flowers. They're always gone. They just eat them. Last night was the Northern Lights. Now, you listening to this, you know it was about a week ago, but I started seeing all this stuff on Facebook, people taking pictures, amazing pictures, and my granddaughter put one on Facebook, and then my daughter put one, and they live up in the mountains in Colorado, and they overlook, you know, the mountains kind of go down into a valley, and then other mountains are in a distance, and it was a tremendous picture, all red and green, and it was just something else. Well, as soon as I realized that people were taking pictures from areas that were even south of me, I went out there, and it was a little bit red, but not really much. Now, from my house, I have to look north to catch something like that, and to the northwest is Lawrence, Kansas, and to the northeast is the Kansas City metro area. And there's a town right almost directly north of me, about maybe 5 miles. And so I get a lot of light volume through that whole northern region. But you could tell the sky was kind of pink. If I didn't know the northern lights were going on, I would have thought it was left over from sunset. So I came back in and got more and more pictures, and so I told Kim I'm going out there again. She went out with me the first time. And the second time I went out, the sky in one area, kind of in between the two big sets of lights, was very, very red. I'd say crimson red. Still no greens or any of that, but it did take up a big portion of the sky. It was beautiful, and that's the second time I've ever experienced the northern lights. It was worth going outside. I saved some of the pictures from my friends and my daughter and the ones I took. Well, that's about it today. Always be kind. There's really no better way in the world. I'll be back next Wednesday. Maybe we'll do something for Thanksgiving. Thank you for riding along. Peace out.